Man, I know it's been a bit of a shit show for you the last probably few days with being over there winning and all that, man. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You talk about it being a bit of a shit show, if you can believe it. So we went on Sunday night, and then they had us on a 6 a.m. flight out on the Monday morning out of Helsinki.
Oh,
So yeah, so
Oh,
the celebration with the boys was short lived, but at the end of the day, honestly, it was such a great experience. I'm so happy I got to go. It's a funny story. I've been doing interviews all week. A lot of people don't know this, but I actually called Team Canada. I wasn't invited, so I
wow.
kind of was like, "Hey, I want to come," because I'd never played it before, and I knew the training camp was going to be in Budapest, and I had heard great things about that city. And then we were in the Riga, Latvia group, and Nasi, you've been there.
Yeah.
Awesome city. So I wanted to go there and experience it. And to be honest, I'd never played for Team Canada. When I was in my prime, in my heyday, we were always in the playoffs. So I never really got a chance to go. And the way the season ended and the way things went, it was kind of, I felt like I still had juice in the tank,
Yeah.
and I still wanted to play. And then Toffoli and Uyghur were going, so I was like, you know what, I called my agent. I'm like, hey, you got to call Doug Armstrong, tell him I want to come. And then he called me and he said, hey, I invited some guys to hear back. If there's a spot, we'd love to have you come. We didn't even know you would want to come. And, he called me back like 2 days later and said, hey, yeah, there's a spot for you if you want to come. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. And the cool part was too, is I got to bring my wife and kids out.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they got to experience it with me. You talked about Stanley Cup. I was 23 years old when I won that. And, I didn't have kids back then, so I didn't get to share that moment with them. So, whenever, even though our roster kind of looked thin before we went there, you're still on Team Canada, you still got a chance to win. So I was like, you know what, it'd be cool to celebrate this with my children. And you know what, I even got to bring the trophy home.
oh yeah, there
That's
you go.
awesome.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, no way.
Hockey Canada is here in Calgary, so like their headquarters. So I'm still holding on to it. They still
Oh
haven't
man.
called me to get it back for me. So I've been
Just don't answer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hang tight.
I shut my phone off actually. So
Yeah,
I'm not taking
right.
phone calls right now.
That's so cool.
I was gonna say, Luch, like obviously I'm American, but when I was able to do USA stuff, even though I'm just an equipment pigeon, like especially the Olympics 2010, man, like it was like the coolest feeling throwing a sweatshirt on and said USA. Like it must just been a dream of yours, like being Canadian and throwing that sweater on, because I hear so many guys talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, you grow up watching World Juniors and World Championships and Olympics, and I think my first memory of Team Canada was 2002 when they played the U.S. in the finals in Salt Lake City, and yeah, there's always a little bit, I guess, little extra pride when you put on your national team jersey, no matter what it is. And the cool part too was to see the other nations and the other countries. Like I think the biggest turnout was Switzerland. When we played Switzerland in Riga, it was almost to par of when we played Latvia in the first opening game of the tournament. And to see all the Czechs come down and the Slovaks come down, and they're walking around with their flags and their scarves, and you're going to Old in Riga, they're representing the colors and the flags. And you talk about 2010, and during that All-Star break, because I'm from Vancouver, I actually went to Vancouver for 5 days because I wanted to, I kind of wanted to experience the Olympics a little bit, in my hometown. And I had that same kind of feel, everyone walking around, showing their nation's colors and all that type of stuff. And it was cool to be a part of. They cheer differently than we do.
Yeah.
They like
right.
whistle and shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
like, we were setting up our breakouts and our PP, our power play, and they were kind of getting mad that we were holding it on the half wall for too long. They start whistling, and I'm going, what the hell are they whistling about? And every time one of their players fall, they're whistling and they want a penalty call, and the reffing sucks.
Yeah.
As you know, Nasty, like
Yeah.
just. But it was cool to be a part of, because it was something different. You know, I'd never experienced anything internationally before. You know, and I'm about to turn 35 here on Wednesday, and you know, to be able to experience that, and like you said, to wear, you know, the Canadian, you know, flag, you know, the Canadian jersey, you know, it was a pretty huge honor, and you know, I'm glad I got to do it.
Yeah.
So cool.
It was like I said, it was a lot of fun to watch. And I know when I was in Riga, I believe that building, if it's the same one, had just been built, if I'm not mistaken. And I had a tough time some of the time watching the game because of the cheerleaders dancing behind me.
Head on
I
a swivel,
remember-
Nasty.
Dude, I did. I needed a neck brace after that. But no, in all seriousness, it's such a, we just were talking about it, it's such a cool city, and it's so much fun. That was my first time at international, being in anything like that. And like you said, just watching everyone from all these other countries. And like you said, yeah, they got those little paper helmets on and their scarves and all that shit. It was a blast, man. So congratulations. That's awesome.
That's so cool. I love that you reached out and you know, offered your services, you know, the wily old vet, you know, wanting to go and play for their country. I think that's super cool. And then to do it in front of your family, gotta be super special. So props to you, man. That's
yeah, man.
That's awesome. You had a chance to play with our boy Scott Lawton there too. How was that?
You know, and it's funny because and then you get to meet you guys. Like you talk about Lottie. You know, me and him always kind of. Well, I always kind of went after him every time we played the Flyers.
Why?
I'm kidding.
I know.
Yeah, and then you know, and then you end up, you know, meeting guys like that, and you end up, you know, becoming teammates and good friends, and yeah, so that just adds to it.